So the national championship is on Monday. Um, I talked about this a little bit in my last episode, and I definitely put a clip out about it. But the national championship is here, and or on Monday, and you have this to me was the most unpredictable national championship. Now, yes, a lot of people, including myself, thought that actually no. If you really look at how after last year's national championship with Georgia clearly winning, Georgia lost majority of their defense. They lost majority of their defense. They lost a lineman. They lost some wide receivers. They lost a lot. So it was still in question, and it was still questionable if they would be good enough to make it back to the national championship. And due to their defense still being great now, I mean, they just reloaded. Their defense is good. It's the people that stayed, for another year, they've stepped up. Stetson Bennett has stepped up. The wide receiver core is great. Georgia, any questions that I had about Georgia after that national championship and if they were good enough was quickly extinguished. So when we say the most unpredictable national championship, we're also talking about TCU. Nobody had TCU. I don't even know if TCU had TCU in the national championship. New coach, Max Duggan. He, you know his story. He wasn't the most highly scouted wide or quarterback. The running game, the defense is still the defense. So I didn't think they were going to win. I didn't think that TCU was not even on my radar. We were talking about national championship, especially when you have Alabama and Michigan, and we thought Clemson was going to be good, But we're here. National championship. Georgia, TCU, number 1 seed against the number 3 seed. Let me first say how each team could win and how each team and my concerns about each team. Let's see Georgia. The way Georgia can win is Georgia is going in as the heavy favorite with their defense, and they're the powerhouse. The defense is humming, even though the defense struggled last week. Their defense is still elite. They're, Stetson Bennett, he's been there before. And this has been arguably the best team all year. That's why they're number 1. They're 14-0. So they've been there before. They have the experience, and they're just the complete team. It's very hard to see a problem with their team. And it's very hard to see a hole in their team, which is why they're the big, heavy favorites, and I understand why. Now, the concern that I have stems from last week. If it wasn't for the worst missed kick I've ever seen in my entire life, Georgia would be at home right now, and we'd be talking about TCU and Ohio State. Their defense did not come to show up in the biggest game so far of their season. I was shocked. The defense that we've seen Georgia to have it just didn't show up. And the speed in which TCU plays with, I don't know if Georgia will be able to keep up. Well, yes, Georgia plays some good teams. The SEC isn't really known for their speed. They're known for their physicality. They're known for the big bodies they have. They're known for just physical brand of football. They're not really known for physical brand and speed. Maybe the one team in the SEC that's known for their speed and their toughness is Alabama. So that is the cause for concern that I have for Georgia. How are they going to be able to keep up, or are they going to be able to keep up with the speed and physicality that TCU brings with their run game? Even though we don't know their starting running back is going to play or not. But with their run game and with the wide receivers that they have, will Georgia be able to keep up? Because they are a missed field goal away for not being here, and us talking about C.J. Stroud and Ohio State. For TCU, one of the advantages that they have is, like I said, their speed. Their toughness. There's multiple ways they can win in multiple ways. They can win on the ground. They can win with Max Duggan. They can win multiple ways. And while their biggest concern of the year has been their defense, over the last few weeks, their defense has stepped up mightily, and actually, their defense is the biggest reason why they beat Michigan, getting 2 pick sixes. 2 pick sixes. Max Duggan didn't have the best game, but because your defense was playing as good as it was, you didn't have to have your best game. So that is an advantage they have. It's just they can win in multiple ways. And their concern that I have kind of goes back. They haven't played. Their most physical team they've played is Michigan. They lost to Kansas State. But Michigan was probably the closest that they would get to playing a team like Georgia. And I don't know, sitting here today, because of course it's all hearsay, she said. I mean, it's all like we don't know. But I don't know if Michigan would beat Georgia. I think they could, but I don't know. Their defense, TCU's defense, has been good over the last few weeks, but the whole season has not been good. In fact, their defense has probably been their Achilles heel. So are we going to get the defense of recent, or the recent few weeks that helped them, propel them to win over Michigan? Or are you going to get the defense that they trailed in a lot of their games, especially early on in the season? They trailed in most of their games. Now, yes, they came back and won, but they trailed in majority of their games. So who do I have winning? I know that TCU is the Cinderella story that is right now, because nobody expected him to be there. But I just feel that Kirby Smart and the experience that Georgia has and the complete team that Georgia has. I think the close game to Ohio State can be one of two things. It could be a sign of things to come, or it could be a wake up call. And I think that it's going to be a wake up call for Georgia. And it's like, if we don't get it together, we could lose to TCU, because TCU, if you want to argue, you can argue it, but TCU is a better team than Ohio State. So I think it's going to be a wake up call, and I have Georgia winning. I just think the experience and the overall team. I think the Georgia team overall is better than TCU's team, in my opinion. So I have Georgia winning the national championship. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.